Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Holler. Today we're going to talk about telling time to the quarter hour. This is a little bit more difficult skill, don't get frustrated if it's a little bit more challenging, but I think we'll get through it together. So I'd like you to open your books to page 613. I hope you are there. I want you to look at this clock and I want you to think about there are 4 pieces to this clock, 4 quarters of the whole hour. I oftentimes tell my students during this lesson that if you think about 4 quarters, what else do we know about 4 quarters in $1? There are 4 quarters in $1, right? Well, there are 4 quarters in 1 hour. So if you take a look at this, there are 4 quarters. Here's the first quarter. This is the second quarter. Here's the third quarter. And here's the fourth quarter. So when you do all those quarters together, it equals 1 whole hour. Oftentimes I think about those quarters, like I said, as of money. So there are 4 of them. So 4 quarters equal $1 and 4 quarters in an hour. This first quarter right here is called quarter after. This quarter right here. So anytime that the minute hand is going to be on the 3, pointing to the 3, it's going to be quarter after. Then we already know what happens here, right? This whole side, when this happens, this is all, when the minute hand goes past all of this, it's going to be half past. So if the minute hand is pointing to the 6, it's going to be 30, or it's also known as half past. Now, if the minute hand is pointing to the 9 in our third quarter here that we've got going on, it's going to be something called quarter till or quarter to. So that means that there's only a quarter of an hour left before the new hour is going to happen. So there's only 15 minutes until that next hour is going to happen. So the 12 is o'clock. The 3 is quarter after. The 6 is half past. And the 9 is quarter till. If you think about it, look at this little circle over here. 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So all of those little sections are all worth 15 minutes or a quarter of an hour. That's why we're talking today about time to the quarter hour. Let's do quarter past. It asks us to do it. Let's do quarter past 2. So if it's quarter past, the minute hand has to be on the 3. So that is remember we is 15 because we counted by 5s, 5, 10, 15. So quarter past, and the hour hand has to be quarter past the 2. Now remember, the only time that the hour hand is pointing directly at the 2 is when it's at o'clock. So the hour hand has to be just a little bit after the 2. So if I would try to get this, it would be right about here. Okay. So when you're drawing the hour hand, make sure that it's a little bit past the 2. So down here, we're going to write quarter past 2. All right. Let's take a look at this page. You can show time to the quarter hour. There are 15 minutes in a quarter hour. There are 4 quarter hours in an hour. So look at this first one. This one's 1 o'clock. You can go ahead and trace this 1 o'clock. Look at the hour hand is pointing to the 1 and the minute hand is pointing to the 12. We know that anytime the minute hand is pointing to the 12, it is o'clock. Let's do quarter past 1. Remember, that's our first quarter that we have here, our first quarter. So our hour hand is pointing to the 1. It's in the 1 o'clock hour. It just is past the 1 a little bit. And then our minute hand, we have to count by 5s, 5, 10, 15. So it is 1:15, or it's also known as 1:15. And you can trace over that as well. The next one is 1:30, and we talked about that a couple days ago. 1/2 means that it's gone halfway around, the minute hand has gone halfway around the clock. So our hour hand should be in between the 1 and the 2 because it's halfway between both of those, the hours. So we're going to do 1:30. We're going to write 1:30 for this one. So it has all of this time, this half of our pizza, half of our clock. 1:30 is also 1:30. Now this is the tricky one. This one's 1/4 till 2. 1/4 till 2. There's a little spot right there. I don't know what that was. 1/4 till 2 means that it's 15 minutes until it's going to be 2 o'clock. See how this clock is all yellow? This is how much time has passed already in this hour. But only the white is 15 more minutes because that's our final quarter of our clock for finishing up the hour. So, since there are 15 minutes left, we're going to say it is 1/4 till 2 o'clock. 1/4 till 2. But if we're trying to write our digital clock, we're going to write, it's still in the 1 o'clock hour. So we're going to trace over our 1, and then we're going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So 1:45, or it also could be said as 1/4 till 2. Let's take a look to see what time it's shown on the clock on number 1. Tell what time is shown, write the time. So here we're looking at the hour hand first. The hour hand is in what hour? It should be in the 11 o'clock hour, and then 11, and then this is pointing to the 3, and we know 5, 10, 15. So right now it is 11:15 on this clock, or another way to say it is 11:15. 11:15, because we've gone this quarter right here is all gone when we're telling our time. Number 2, you should know this one right away. It's in between the 8 and the 9, and so we're in the 8 o'clock hour. And we know when it goes to the 6, that is going to be 30. So our digital clock should say 8:30. It's also known as half, up here, remember? 8:30. 8:30. Now, number 3, it's the tricky one. What hour are we in? Has it gone to the 7 yet? No, it hasn't. So we're still in the 6 o'clock hour. 6 o'clock hour. Now we need to figure out our minute hand. If we counted by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Anytime the minute hand is pointing to the 9, it's always going to be 45. So 6:45 is our time. But how would I say 6:45? I mean, I could say 6:45, but there's another way to say it too. See how this one says? It could be 1/4 till 7. That means it only has to go this quarter right here, and it will be 7 o'clock. All right, we are going to move on to page number 615. I want you to try to do 4, 5, and 6 on your own. It says, tell what time is shown and write the time. Go ahead and do that now. Put me on pause. Okay, so we are going to check over number 4, 5, and 6. I hope for number 4, you got 4:15 is your digital clock answer. And for number 5, you wrote down 7:45. That one is a little tricky one. Remember, it had to be in the 7 o'clock hour. It hasn't gotten till 8 o'clock yet. And then number 6 should be 2:15. We're in the 2 o'clock hour, and then we are 15 minutes. 5, 10, 15. 15 minutes, or quarter after 2. These few next ones, 7, 8, and 9, we're going to do together because they're a little bit harder. So we're going to do quarter till 2. All right, quarter till 2. That's a toughie. So what we have to do is quarter till means that there's only 15 minutes left and it will be 2 o'clock. So it's not 2 o'clock yet. So if it's not 2 o'clock yet, our hour hand still has to be in the, oh, that's a bad arrow. Sorry, boys and girls. In the 1 o'clock hour. And the quarter till, remember, quarter till means that our minute hand is going to be pointing to the 9. So what time does that clock say? What hour are we in? We're in the 1 o'clock hour. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. That's right. I remember every time that we see the number 9, it is 45. So our time is 1:45 or quarter till 2. Number 8, quarter past 5 is already almost done for us. We just have to go past 5. Remember, the only time that the hour hand is pointing directly to the number is when it's at o'clock. So it's in the 5 o'clock hour, but it has to be just a little bit past our 5 o'clock. What time does this say? We said it's 5 o'clock is our hour. 5, 10, 15. 5:15. All right, let's take quarter past 12. Quarter past 12. We said quarter past is to the 15. So we're going to put our minute hand to 15. And quarter past, it has to be just a little bit past the 12. So 12:15 is our answer. Read the time, write the time on the digital clock. Number 10, 12:45. You can do that. 12:45. Number 11, 4:15. 4:15. And number 12, 9:30. 9:30. 9:30. Good. All right. Okay, so I only have a few more minutes until my video time is all up. So we're going to get as many problems done with this as we can. I want to talk to you quickly about your homework. You need to do pages 617 and 618 for homework. And then, yep, you should be good with that. If you need to remember how to do any of it, you can always go back into the lesson that I taught a little bit ago. All right, number 13. Mia is at school. School's over at 3:15. She has 3 more hours to wait. What time is it now? So we're going to go over to our clock, and we're going to go to 3:15. Let's go there quickly. 3:15. And now we have to go 3 hours. 1 hour. 2 hours. 3 hours. What time does this clock say? If you said 6:15, you are correct. So we're going to write 6:15. Okay, number 14. Ken goes to his friend's house at 2:15. Circle the clock that shows this time. So we talked and we know that any time that it's at 15, what number should the minute hand be pointing to? Should be pointing to the 3. So which one is the minute hand? Remember, the minute hand is the longer one. So this clock shows 2:15. Sorry, boys and girls, that's all I have time with. You can try number 15 in the hot problem on your own, but good luck, and I will talk to you soon.